opening statement.
Well, great to see everyone again. As Honor Boateng announcement of being out for the season is there. He's doing great in positive spirits and everything else, and we wish him the best of luck in his recovery. Sean Phillips is full practice, so I know he got pulled that last game, but I wanted to obviously address that. Javon Porter is still out as of right now, but his progression is going well. Obviously, return to play protocol is that depending on doctors and trainer and how his body responds. Bye week, of course, a lot of things to work on, a lot of time to work on it, which was great. No different, and we approached it no different than we approached the Christmas break when we didn't have a game after Christmas, but had our team here prior to the SEC season starting. I want to give recognition to our recruiting class. I know, historically, we were able to accomplish some things, and those student athletes that we've recruited, identified, evaluated. It brings me great joy to just recognize those guys. First, Aiden Chronister, McDonald's All-American nominee, obviously didn't get selected for the game, but he'll have a great career for us, outstanding career, and I'm looking forward to coaching him. He's positive, he's excited about his classmates being able to garner the attention of receiving McDonald's All-American, not just nominations, but being selected to that game is a huge accomplishment. We have not had two in our class ever. You had Stefanovic in 79, Derek Chivas in 84, Pillar in 88, Trayvon Bryant in 2000, and obviously Michael Porter Jr. in 2017. That doesn't alleviate those that we had via transfer, but from high school directly to Mizzou, it's only been historically 5. So to be able to have Jason Crow Jr. And Tony Bryant selected to that game, it's exciting to see. You're able to recognize the village that helps put on the recruiting weekends. Obviously, football games being an exciting form of that entertainment, and just the fandom that takes place during those weekends is tremendous for our community as we come together, and all our staff from academics over to compliance, over to strength and conditioning, and otherwise, those meetings are important, and the most important kids that give the recruits opportunity to get to know the program is your current player. So I want to give kudos to our current players. Being able to answer questions of parents, being able to have and sit there in dinners and conversations is the front door to our program, and we want to just acknowledge our student athletes for being able to be available to parents, to young people who are interested in our institution, and just give their experience raw and uncut, good, bad, ugly, and just being as honest and transparent as they can. So I'm excited about our recruiting class. Again, our three high school kids, Aiden Chronister, Tony Bryant, and Jason Crow Jr. As it relates to T.O. Barrett, again, he's done a tremendous job, in the role that I'm asking him to play. From a percentage standpoint, free throw line, doing elite at that free throw line, doing a great job. And then being a leader. I think whenever you're thrown into that situation, you're able to step up. So kudos to him, and also credit his teammates for the transition. Ant Robinson is doing great, just as energetic as possible. He's just waiting on the jump shot to fall. And, he understands the other parts of his game that is an asset to us. And defensively, you saw some things. I saw some things aggressively he's doing offensively. But, he's getting his team organized. Jaden Stone is doing the same thing from a percentage standpoint, averaging 15 points, close to 6 rebounds, 2 assists. And when you have a guard that's rebounding the ball at a high level like that, that's tremendous. And his shooting percentages and splits are there. South Carolina is a great team. This conference is a great conference. I think what we see is a bunch of teams all right there trying to scratch and claw its way into separation, but that's kind of difficult when you have the balance that we have top to bottom. Lamont Paris has done a great job there. They've had battles. They've done things in home court against some teams, and they are a well-coached team with a great roster. And we got our hands full, and we got to go out and give our very best on this road.
All right, questions?
Dennis, with this bye week, what specifically have you been able to hone in on practice?
Well, I think number one, get healthy. Try to get as healthy as you can. That's important. Execution is important, offensively and defensively. Fine-tuning whichever playbook, kind of evaluating previous games, what has worked, what will continue to work. Understanding your opponents, getting into this part of the season where teams get better. Teams get better, and it's a sort of awareness to this time of the year, but also roles are out there now. There's no players guessing about what role they're in and what role they play. They have to go out and do their job. And regardless of the obstacle, no matter the circumstance, no matter the scouting report, the resistance of it, you got to go out and do your job, and just fine-tuning the details of doing your job is the most important thing that I can kind of tell you that we worked on the most.
You mentioned Aaron Robinson trying to find his shot. What are the coaching points for a player who's kind of struggling to see it?
Well, at the end of the day, you have to look at coaching kids through aggression. You don't want him to stop. You want him to continue to do the great things that he has done for us. He's won some games for us throughout his career. And you just want to allow him to stay ready. I think the other part of it is not focusing 100% on offense, thinking that's the only way you can gauge yourself as playing well. You can play well by not making shots. You can have assists, you can have steals, you can impact leadership. And that's where vocally Ant has stepped up, and he did a tremendous job. Last game, I think 2 games before against Oklahoma, I didn't have him in at the end of the game. Well, that's because of what I saw and what I witnessed. So therefore, now moving forward, he's done things to rightfully get himself on track and not just balance himself and thinking that, okay, if I make a shot, I play well. If I miss a shot, I play bad. And that's kind of where we were at. So I just want him to keep moving forward with his aggression, being able to get to the line, knock down free throws.
Coach, when you talk about evaluating yourself during this bye week, what kind of stands out about the team through the first half of SEC play?
Well, what stands out is these bye weeks are important. It's important to reset. It's important to be able to hone your craft and reflect on the things that you have done great, the things that you haven't done great, and try to put yourself in a situation mentally, emotionally, to correct them. And that's where you have to understand we gave some games away, and it was more self-infliction. So we got to try to avoid the self-infliction and stick to a scouting report no matter what. Now, it's a difference in beating yourself and a team beating you. I think some of those games we beat ourselves. You can think about the free throw line. B, you can think about second chance opportunities that we gave away. And then turnovers, assist to turnover ratio. So it's a difference if you have positives in all those and you still lose a game, but it's a negative if you are not at your numerical advantages in those categories.
Coach, T.O. has attempted 7 3-pointers over the past couple of games.
Yeah.
Where do you think he's at in terms of that becoming a bigger part of his offensive arsenal?
Players make plays. You have to be confident enough, tough enough to knock down free throws. You got to be doing the same if you're going to be left wide open. And, ultimately he's seen the ball go in. What I love is that he's playing with confidence, and his teammates is doing the same thing, feeding confidence into him. T.O. is a hard worker, and most of our team is the same way. They get in the gym, they do more and above and beyond their call of duty. So from T.O.'s perspective, he just has to continue to knock down the shots, especially if they're coming from a double team with Mark Mitchell. because he's such a great attractor to the defense. And then the other part of it is being able to one more pass to guys like Cruz, Stone, Trent Pierce, even when it means you got to pass up your own. So how do you find the balance of creating for others and then taking the opportunity that you're given? You got to make a split decision, and that decision has to be made quickly, and the timing of it has to be confident. And that's what we saw when we've seen him make his threes, but also him being ready to and prepared to do so.
Coach, when you mentioned the team beating itself,
Yeah.
what is the counter to that? What does your team look like when it isn't beating itself?
Well, basketball is a game where you're not only playing against the opponent, you're playing against yourself. You can lose a game even if you play your very best, but you can lose a game by self-infliction. Self-infliction categories is field goal percentage, having a low field goal percentage based off your shot selection or lack thereof, leaning too much onto three-point attempts, right? The other part of it is not having the balance. You can beat yourself by not executing at the free throw line. You can beat yourself by having a negative assist to turnover ratio. You can beat yourself by not cutting out and pursuing the basketball and limiting second chance opportunities and points. So you can beat yourself if you're not connected. We want to eliminate those things because the game of basketball in itself is difficult. But we want to give ourselves an opportunity on that road. Just give us the last shot, the last possibility. And if you're playing a game where you have that last shot, that last possibility, that last possession, you're going to be in a positive in a lot of categories. Not only do we have to play well, you don't have to play perfect, but you have to play good basketball and team basketball.
You mentioned those self-inflicted issues coming up more on the road. What kind of goes into translating how the team plays at home to a tougher road matchup?
Well, you look at the hostile environments we've been in, right? We've been able to show a positive in some, and then we've shown the ability not to show the positive. So it's just a matter of making sure we're all on the same page, and that's my job as a head coach, be able to make sure our guys are mentally, emotionally, and physically available to push through whatever obstacle there is, but also being able to handle the noise, the crowd, being able to handle the nuances of a road run, meaning what that team has done offensively to put themselves in a situation, or vice versa defensively to put us in an awkward situation, in a situation we're not accomplishing. I think when you look at coaching, I got to do a lot in preparation, and that's my title, that's my job, and ultimately our staff has to do a great job as well. So I'll stand on the train tracks for my guys any day of the week. We win games, it's on them. We lose games, it's on me.
Coach, the importance of every game now from here on out to something like making the NCAA tournament, is that something you bring up to your players at this point of the season?
You don't have to, because they already talk about it amongst themselves. They know what time it is, man. They know what month we're in. It's called March Madness, but it should be February Madness as well, because ultimately there's a lot of games that determine the outcome, and you're in this single-digit season. It's not double-digit games anymore. It's single-digit, and you're vying for positioning not only in your conference standings as you pursue an effort to win championships, but the ramifications of being able to try to convince the NCAA committee, which isn't done over a weekend. It's done over a period of time. Now, what you have to do is protect your efforts at all times. There is situations where you have play-in games. There is situations where you can play well and get an automatic bid by winning a conference tournament postseason. But you want to put yourself in the best situation in the eyes of the committee by being consistent and being there. What I do know is the committee knows we've had 2 starters not play until now, right? Until this part of the year. That's a big piece of an entire puzzle. And you're not looking at one, right? I think the automatic bid should come based off the most difficult way to win a championship isn't over a weekend, it's over a 12-week span. Those are, whoever wins conference should be the one for the automatic bid, without a doubt. But that's not my decision. I just think our guys, they're competitors. They've been in college. They've educated the younger guys. They know. But we're still going to take it one game at a time.
Coach, how difficult is that to keep everybody focused? Because you've talked about taking the season one game at a time,
Yeah.
but obviously with them talking amongst themselves, how difficult is it to just focus on the task in front of them?
It's not difficult at all because that's how we begin our season in the summer. We talk about one day at a time. You're only able to control where you are, where your 2 feet are. So there's no more important game on our schedule than our current game. So we don't look too far ahead and just get distracted. We don't do that. I don't talk that way. We specify specifically the most important opponent is ourselves, and the next most important opponent is the next team on the schedule. So, in this big game or this big season, we want to approach each game. We want to continue to get better. We want to be able to rectify our weaknesses and galvanize our strengths and continue to do it collectively. But there's always adversity, and we want to be able to get through the adverse situations.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Elijah.